there's 4 chambers, right? 4 parts of the heart. So let's cut it in half, and then let's make like a little half smiley face. So let's just draw the chambers like that. Okay, so we've got 4 chambers, and they have names, right? When you first go into a restaurant or a big hotel, the front entrance is called starts with an A. Atrium, right? It's the big where they have all the beautiful plants. Well, there's the entrance to a lot of things, so we're going to call these sections the atrium. That's the doorway, just like it is in the heart. And of course, is this the left or the right side as you're looking at it? I'm looking at it the left, but remember, everything is according to the person, right? So this is the right atrium. This is the left atrium. Okay, the bottom parts are ventricles. So we're going to name the bottom parts ventricles, because that's what they're called. So we've got the right ventricle, we've got the left ventricle. All right, and just to help us remember this, when you think of the heart and Valentine's Day, who's always hanging around the heart? Cupid, right? Cupid, that's his wings. It's a stick Cupid. Non-gender. So, this is Cupid. It's very important, very important. And he has the little bow and arrow, right? This little thing, very important. Okay, so we have, and then let's throw some lungs over here. And of course, this is not to size, because the lungs are big, and the heart's this size. The heart's about 1 pound, and it's about this size. Okay, lungs are really big up here. Okay, so now we have something over here which we need to name, where the blood is going to come in. So over here, we're going to draw a vena cava. V-E-N-A-C-A-V-A, vena cava, vein, right? These are all that. The vena cava is coming off to the side. All right. And we have one coming from the top of the body also. So this is bringing the blood supply, the deoxygenated blood, back to the heart. Okay? So if it's coming from the bottom, what are we going to call that one? Inferior vena cava. Look at all the words we've learned. Makes perfect sense. So we have the inferior vena cava from the lower part of the body, and the superior one would be called the superior. Oh, that's a perfect name. Superior. Okay. This is lungs. Okay, so the blood is coming back to the heart via the superior vena cava from the head and neck, from the lower extremities, from the inferior vena cava. It's going to come in, of course it's going to enter the heart through the door, right? So it's going to go through the right atrium first. Okay, that's where it's entering, right here, the right atrium. And then it has a little valve that the blood goes through. And the valves keep it from backtracking or going backwards, right? So the doors and the valves open. So we're going to go right through here, through the tricuspid valve, which is right between the right atrium and the right ventricle. So it's going from the top part of the right chamber of the heart to the bottom chamber. Similarly, this is right where Cupid is. The tricupid valve, I like to call it, because he's going to shoot his little arrow right in the heart, right? So that's right where it enters. You will remember this later. So the tricupid, or if we want to be correct, we'll call it tricuspid valve. But remember, Cupid's over on this side. It's going to enter the heart, and it's going to come down here in the right ventricle. Okay? Once it's in there, the blood has no oxygen, right? It's coming from the vena cavas. It needs more oxygen. So it's going to leave. It's going to kind of do a little U-turn in there. And it's going to leave through the pulmonary artery. Pulmonary meaning it's going to go to the lungs. So we just said a minute ago that the arteries carry oxygenated blood, right, away from the heart. Well, this is one of the exceptions where this artery has deoxygenated blood. But it is going to the lungs, so that might make it a little easier to remember. So it's going out to the pulmonary artery, okay, and it's blue, no oxygen. It's going to go through the lungs. It's going to get rid of what does your body as a waste product creates? Carbon, is it dioxide or monoxide? Dioxide. Think you die without any oxygen, right? There you go. Now you remember. Carbon monoxide is what's in the car when the garage door is closed and the car's running. Of course, you die there too, but so carbon dioxide is the waste product. So it's going to go through the lungs. It's going to exchange that carbon dioxide for nice, fresh oxygen. It's going to pick that up. Then it has to come back into the heart. It's going to go in through the atrium, of course, through the doorway. So it's going to come in this left atrium, right here. Okay, and this is called the pulmonary vein. So now, of course, you have a vein that is full of oxygen. Makes no sense. Here is your caveats, where the rest of the body, the arteries go away from the heart, veins go to the heart. But just think, this is pulmonary going to and from the lungs. Okay? So it's going to come in through here, through the left atrium, through the doorway. Has to go through a valve, right? We want the blood going through here, and we don't want it to go backwards again. So we have a name for this valve, too. Now, it finally might have oxygen, right? The blood might have oxygen. So we can call this the mitral valve. Okay? This right here is the mitral valve. Mitral valve. It might finally have some oxygen for us. All right. We come in here, we're full of oxygen. Now we have to pump out to the rest of the body, and it's in this left ventricle. Now, the difference between the right and left side of the heart is that this side is very muscular. Okay, this is muscle. This little lacy thing means muscle in technology. I know it's very technical, but so this whole, actually the ventricles are much more muscular, but the left ventricle is about 3 times the size of the right side here. So this is very, very strong man. We've got a little strong man over here. Okay, that's the strong side. Because this left ventricle is the power, this is the pump for the heart. So this is the side that has to go boom, boom, and pump all that blood through the body. So once it comes in here through the pulmonary vein, it's all ready to go. This very powerful pump will pump it out to the aorta. Now, the aorta goes behind this pulmonary artery, so it's going to come back out through here, right? So we want to find out, aorta, where are you? Aorta. He's hiding back there, okay? So the aorta goes behind it. Just think, aorta. He's way, aorta. Aorta, where are you? He's behind the pulmonary artery. That's where he is. So if you're wondering, that's where he is. So he's going to go out here, and then he's going to go out to the rest of the body. Oxygenated blood is going to pump through the entire body, give you lots of energy, make all that exchange of nutrients in the cells, take the breakfast you just ate on the way here, and turn it into energy, and then the whole process is going to start over again. So very quickly, to recap, now that you know it, it's going to go through the body, make its exchange, grab carbon. It's going to have carbon dioxide when it comes back because it's used up all the oxygen. It's going to come back through the inferior and superior vena cavas. Going to go through the doorway, the right atrium, go through the tricuspid valve. You can call it cuspid, that would be correct. Tricuspid valve goes through here, right ventricle, needs to go back through to the lungs. Pulmonary artery goes away, goes to the lungs, picks up oxygen, comes through the door, left atrium. It finally might have oxygen, goes to the mitral valve. In here in the left ventricle, goes through the aorta, right behind